We are talking REITs with Max out in Vancouver. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, gentlemen. Thanks for taking my call. Dave, you often say you ought to invest in what's working right now. So my question is about H&R REIT, but I'm more interested in your comment about the REIT sector in general, which has held up very well and throws out lots of cash every month, despite being told for the last 5 years that the rise in interest rate is just around the corner, so get out. I will hang up and listen and see what your opinion is about.
Great.
Thank you.
Max, that's a great question because clearly a lot of people are concerned about rising interest rates, and I would share your view. It is not likely to happen anytime soon. There is really no inflation, no major credit risk, no major ramp in economic growth. I think it's unlikely you get a big change in long-term interest rates, which of course would be negative for REITs. I think the REIT sector looks interesting. Certainly there's have and have-nots. H&R has been an underperformer. I would point you towards something like Granite REIT, which has a lot of the Magna properties. They've got a really, really strong balance sheet, lots of opportunity to make acquisitions, and they only pay out about 65% of their cash flow. In the U.S., you could look at even some of the ETFs that invest in REITs, like the residential REIT REZ. I think that looks quite attractive, or the Coleman Steers REIT Index ICF. Nice dividend growth there. You could look at something like Simon Property Group, which is for in the shopping REITs. So there's a bunch, but I think the space looks pretty good.
Lots of ideas for you there, Max. Here's Lewis, who's in Scarborough. Go ahead, Lewis.
Hi. Your comments and recommendations on the U.S. healthcare sector, which I believe you favor.
Yes.
And if possible, your thoughts on Healthcare Leaders Fund. It just started trading today. It consists of a basket of, I believe, 20 U.S. healthcare stocks. Thanks.
Great. So, Luis, certainly the healthcare sector is one of the leading sectors, and obviously there's demographics behind it. It's the biggest industry in the U.S. There's some great companies, and it's still relatively underowned. If I needed to pick a name, I would pick a diversified name like a J&J. We're not looking for rocket fuel here. We're looking for dividend growth. It yields just under 3%. You're going to get nice dividend growth as you go forward. I think it looks very attractive. I think that Pfizer probably also is a name that you can take a look at. As for the basket that you've looked at, I'm not familiar with it. I'm certainly not against the concept. I think you can go and buy an ETF like FBT, which is the biotech. You could buy FXH, which is the healthcare sector as a whole. You could buy PJP, which is the pharmaceutical ETF. There's a bunch of ways to do it, but I think to put some money in that neighborhood is likely to be a profitable one going forward.
One last question here before we get to top picks. Mohammed is in Mississauga. Hello.
Hi, Mark. First-time caller for BNN.
Great. Thanks for calling.
I've been a long-time fan of all the BNN team. My question is that if I have $300,000 to $500,000 and I'm looking for a dividend income for the retirement, where would David recommend the stocks to invest, and it will be safe, relatively safe? We know there's a chance of going up and down, and get the income, say 5 to 10% range.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Mohammed, we talked about healthcare already. That's a space you could take a look at. I think that one of the sectors that likely to have a pretty good tailwind going forward is the U.S. financial sector. I would look at a company like Wells Fargo, just around a 3% yield, likely to have accelerated dividend growth going forward. They have a very strong balance sheet. They have very little commercial risk. They don't have big commercial loans. They got a lot of mortgage loans. And this is one that I think would be a very steady performer in a sector that is really starting to catch a bid.
Well, there you go, Mohammed. There's your idea. We will get 3 more ideas from David Burrows after this break.